Mic check. 1, 2. I sit when I go, number one and number two. Where's my bonus ass chat?
I don't know. So how's the Texas experience?
Tight. Walter Garvey, thumbs up. We're doing this thing. Do we still do we have our guest rescheduled for today or not?
No.
That worked out because, like I said, we got last minute news.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta roll with things, you know.
So we've got kind of a basically like a 45 minutes before I have to fucking boost out of here.
Oh, Central's only 1 hour? Oh yeah, it's only 1 hour back. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
everyone,
this is the podcast.
this is gonna be the podcast. So we'll
After
just.
no podcast last week due to technical difficulties.
I mean, it's been technically difficult this entire time.
Well, I mean, if it was easy, everybody do it.
hmm No, so I'll just let you bring us in, and then we can kind of work our way around it. So we have a beginning and an ending
Okay,
point.
sure. All right, let's do it. This is the Long War. I'm Rob Bear, and joining me once again is my partner in crime, Kenny Boucher. What's up, dog?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Um, hey, you staying moisturized out there? I've
hmm
been hearing a lot of stuff, but just
Yep.
I'm worried. I'm worried about you.
Back. So we're back. We canceled last week. So
That was my fault.
I mean, like it was kind of convenient. Like honestly, like we've been doing what we can. So a lot of people have been asking about Wyatt online on Instagram and stuff like that. So like I'm obviously, if you've been following anything, I've been streaming from the Turk Beats Lab, the mobile soup kitchen here in Round Rock, and so I've been here since last Monday. So like straight up over a week
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so we just got the news today, which is like because we were kind of like giving up on this honestly, like because insurance and bullshit. But like we just got the
Oh
word
no.
today that they're moving him finally to the wound care clinic we want to be at, like
Okay.
because it's like much better and
Okay. Better's good. Better's good.
well,
Yeah.
like more comfortable. Like they're doing the same shit. They're like he's healing, he's doing great. People have been asking how he's doing. You know, he's in good spirits. Everything's dope. You know, he's I see him every day. Usually I see him twice a day. Uh, but your boy Wyatt's on the mend. He's feeling good. He should be back in the saddle. He's looking forward to like California teams and Adepticon and everything.
Oh heck yeah.
So yeah, it's tight. It's just like like he's got 3 cats. I'm scooping kitty litter, making sure these cats eat. Cleaning up their volumes of vomit because they eat, then they instantly throw it up. Then I gotta clean that up, and then they eat again. You know what I mean?
Sometimes they eat the vomit.
I don't let them.
You're that quick, huh?
I hear that racking sound that only cats make when they throw up.
Oh,
I'm like, who the fuck's about to throw up in here? Oh, one of them, like, he's like, jumps up onto the bed to throw up. And I was like, tight.
that's
That's
nice.
exactly where you should do that. Thanks, dog.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I've been dealing with that. And so, luckily, this is a cat free Beats Lab. So that's easy back here, you know?
Oh, yeah, that works out well.
No,
How
but
are you
it's
still getting like cat hairs on your models when
because
you're
the
painting them?
Beats Lab, it's okay. It's not like 100% cat free. We've seen Wyatt with a cat in his lap right here.
That's true.
So, it's not entirely. So the situation, anyone listening, is we're doing kind of a short episode. We got the word that he's being moved tonight, and so that means I got to cut it short because
Fair.
his hospital room is laden with supplies that I've been bringing to him for the last week, and so I need to go collect said supplies and move it to his to the new place. So
Yep,
facilitate that.
that definitely tracks. Nice. He's lucky to have you out there, bro.
I mean, people keep saying that. It's just I feel like friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You got friends.
totally.
I'm in a situation where I'm technically homeless, so like this works.
Yo, dog, let me come squat at your house. I'll do
Uh,
some shit for you.
yeah, I've been living out of my LVO suitcase since LVO,
Man,
like the same one. So
right?
uh, we're just handling business. So I mean, it's good. Like everything's great. Wyatt, he was playing some Diablo 4 on his gaming laptop from the
Oh,
hospital
cool.
room. He's using his mobile hotspot for better Wi-Fi connection. Like we were playing last night. We were playing a little bit. I was playing here with the cats. He was playing in the hotel or the hospital.
Huh.
So that's your Wyatt Turk update. It's all good news. Everything's looking great. So it's been
Nice.
we it's been a while. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. So what has happened since we have last talked, Rob?
Well, a lot of stuff. G-Dub put out their balanced data slate, which a lot of people had a lot of things to say. I mean, I'm mostly Necron and World Eater players, I suppose.
Yeah, the Necrons. I mean, officially, like they got through it because like their shit's just almost too balanced. It's almost too like it's almost like underpowered at this point.
I mean, I feel like people. Well, we saw the FAQ. They got an FAQ before LVO, right? And and then they didn't get any updates. Them or AdMech didn't get any updates for the balanced data slate. So I think folks thought something was coming for that. World Eaters obviously got brought down a peg. And then some stuff got ratcheted back up. Like Custodies and Knights. We're
Oh yeah,
two
they
weeks
fixed the
past.
Custodes Mortal Wound thing, right?
They did, which was interesting because I was like, why doesn't it work that way? That seems like their thing.
Because they
Um,
changed devastating wounds to not be mortal wounds.
right.
So that's like 90% of mortal wounds in the game were tagged to that keyword.
Exactly. So I was like, I feel like this is their like one thing right now. Obviously, all this is going to change when they get their codex, right? But it was good to see. And then the points went down, which was cool. Knights points went down. They still can't hit on twos, which I feel like is okay. And then the bondsman stuff applies only to the armigers and not necessarily to any of the questors now. What else was like some big changes? A basilisk got the nerf, but you still can't find a basilisk to save your life.
Yeah, Imperial Guard
Um,
they got like one small buff, right? The orders they can issue orders out of disembarkation.
that was yeah, that was cool. That was cool. The points on the basilisk I think went up, kind of whatever. I mean everybody's taking a basilisk at least one, right? Or no, was it the mana core that went up in points? I forget exactly, but either way, whatever everybody was taking went up in points. Um,
There's a mana core.
Yeah, that sounds right. What else was like some big stuff there? Obviously, World Eaters. Oh, Votan 50/50. I mean, we're not really gonna know what a lot of these changes are gonna do because last week's tournaments were kind of like half and half, like balanced data slate,
This
not
is how
balanced
this is
data
how it always
slate.
is, Rob. Right? We
Yeah.
get new news, and not when I say
Hmm.
we, I mean like the royal we, like the internet,
Yeah, like
the
everybody.
people who talk about this shit, right? Like, so we get the news, we speculate, we don't have data. We're gonna whine, whinge about certain things and praise other things. But honestly, it's something, and we are doing this live right now. We actually are in our real podcast. Normally would be interacting with the chat at this point. But like One Plus Saves earlier in chat, you mentioned like everyone complaining about Satan. He's like, it's really, it's
Hmm.
just you got to bring tech, man. And it's like that's a great point, because it might sound harsh to some people who are getting dick stomped by Satan, but that's how this works. Something's out there dick stomping people. We have to kind of react to it and see if we can actually beat it. And that is the meta. We are the meta. Like the rules just are like they influence our decision making, but like our decision making in reaction to predictions, like my friend Matt, he's like, all he's doing is scheming on ways to kill Satan, right? That's like his whole thing right now. So it's like we got people just scheming on shutting like we've said it so many times before. Like remember back in the day, the touchstone was like, can you kill a knight? Can you kill a knight in a turn? Like 2 knights in
Yep.
a
Can you
turn.
kill a knight? Yep.
Like so, it's like we need touchstones in this game to define meta so that we can have shifts.
Hmm.
Because once everyone figures out how to beat Satan, then they stop bringing the multiple Satan list, right? So then now all the lists that are showing up to fight Satan are not equipped to fight not Satan lists, and then these new non-Satan lists start winning, and then the other guys shift off of the Satan to some new shit, right? And before you know it, you have some wacky shit that you never even fucking heard of. This is normal. It's fucking normal. Everything's fine. Game stays great.
No, and I really do think it is, and I'll reiterate. Well, first of all, let's talk about the one thing that nobody's talking about. GW actually did a super solid, and this is something we have been asking for literally ever. They adjusted the Munitorium points changes or points, whatever, the
Field
data thing.
Yeah.
They literally went in there and they put in red
Yeah.
if it went up,
Yeah.
green if it went down, with the little down arrow sign. It was so easy.
Throbbing erection when I saw that.
I saw it and I was like, oh my God, is this happening? Is this happening?
We used to have to
Like,
use
it's finally
spreadsheets
happening.
and shit to figure that out.
Bro, it was amazing. I was like, it was so easy to figure out what had changed. And I was like, this is awesome. Dark Eldar got us a detachment. Like, I mean, I still don't know. Dark Eldar are just in a weird spot. Let's talk about Dark. We never talk about Dark Eldar. Let's talk about Dark Eldar. Dark Eldar are literally, Kenny literally, the only faction that has rules for models you can't actually purchase.
Like literally.
Damn. They're the only one. And I mean, they're starting to come out with them. Like we know mandrakes are coming, and there's some stuff on the horizon. They did some C&Ds to a couple different brands for some things that I think have been sorely needed. But basically, to play Dark Eldar, you have to either use third-party proxies or 3D print stuff. Literally, to play competitive Dark Eldar.
It's crazy because they've kind of got away from that as a game design, like as a manufacturer. So that's like, it's whack.
Yeah, it was.
It's whack.
It was really kind of shocking to be at that point for a faction. Now I realize Dark Eldar haven't been like in vogue for a number of years, but
I have a question. Someone in chat asked, why can Chaos Knights hit on 2s and not Imperial Knights? The close combat ones or the shooting ones? Or both? To speculate, I don't know anything about those codexes, but I imagine access to rerolls is more predominant in Imperial Knights, is what I would speculate. Whereas it's not as. This is just rules, objective analyst. I don't know if that is a fact, but typically when you see something like that, it's because somebody has like reroll access and somebody doesn't.
Well, their weapons are completely different for the named ones. But yeah, I mean that they've never been the same as far as like level of lethality, effectiveness, whatever word you want to maybe add in there. Which is also weird because, well, I guess fundamentally renegades are always different than loyalists anyway. So
Yeah, Quinn was asking. He's made some boomer comment about not understanding clocks anymore. We're on at a different time right now, Kara Quinn. That's on me.
Yeah, that's on us. It's not you.
We have a timer. We're gonna. I'm going to the hospital and to go help with Wyatt's move to the wound care clinic, and he's doing great. Like everything's fine. It's just we had to kind of move it up real quick so we can squeeze out a podcast, and we're doing kind of our normal podcast, but also talking to chat a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid because last week.
Somebody did ask. I guess it sucks. We had to cancel last week when the data.
Yeah, that was on me.
It's not everyone, dude. Like it was just like it was. The world conspired against us. So Kevin asked Kenny, how you feeling about the Chaos Space Marines changes? Now, I like them. They're all fair. They all make sense to me. It's like when you see something as dramatic as like you can't put guys in a vehicle anymore if they're not the same mark. That fucks a lot of people's game plans up. You gotta realize that that's normal. That's usually how it is. Been playing this game since 1997, dog. That's typically the game. And so they always feel like this little brief window, let us be fucking savage cavemen and not have that rule. And we do dumb shit with it, like, dark obfuscation on the Rhino and get out with the fucking undivided guys, right? They're like, nah, you guys know it's not going to be like that in the Codex. Here's a preview. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, tracks. So that's over. That completely changes certain delivery methodologies and lists entirely. The big change to the undivided wombo combo too. Like they're not going to do full hit rerolls and wound rerolls, just wound rerolls. Yeah, it's fair. The dark obfuscation changing to 18 inches off of 12. It's fair. The shit was a crutch for me at LVO. Like, straight up. And then also the demon changes to like how you can't take like your celiacs and blue scribe motherfucker and nerdlings. Like you have to have relevant troops to those character models, right? Like, yeah, that tracks. And nerdlings going up just a small amount of points like they did does change stuff for a lot of people. Like it changed my list because it puts me over 500 points of demonic allies, so I can't do that. So I have to change my list, and so I utterly changes mechanics of my list that I did really well with an LVO, and those are the moments I live for. Like that's what I need the game to move
Not what you
forward.
do, yeah.
I need new. It's like playing an ARPG online. I need chase items. I need a chase, and so like if everything just works always, I stop playing it because there's no chase. So I 100% endorse and agree all their fucking changes. Back to you, Rob.
Yeah, I'm looking through everything here points wise, and I mean, besides Crisis battle suits going up, I mean, Agents in the Imperium, so none of the assassins went up, which was to be expected. I think all the Agents in the Imperium are good in place. Crisis suits went up, which was a little bit of a pain point for some folks. I don't think it was that bad, but 8-bound going up, I think that was happening. World Eaters, Master of Executions going up, Karn going up. I mean, you literally saw those units in every list. So I don't feel like that's too much of an ask. So now they're gonna have to figure that one out a little bit more, kind of like what Kenny was saying too.
Well, it's funny because it's like either like Angron is really the only guy that doesn't make sense to me. Like his points for a hit, he's 2 Angrons minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's never not been like he's never not
True.
died and not come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's either like Angron goes up like a crazy amount of points, or to balance, or since everyone takes Angron, let's massage some of these other units to kind of equal that. Is kind of how I view that. You know what I'm saying? So you could either say Angron, you either throttle Angron's ability to come back to life in some capacity, overpoint him in some capacity, or just spread those changes out to other units.
Do you have a list of stuff that you feel like might have got overlooked, or like what are your dark horses here in all the changes between points and potentially like data slate changes, right?
I mean, I only really looked at the stuff that directly affects me, and so all of it's fine. It's like to me, it's like it's a. Some people were saying like, you know, maybe like Wyatt was upset that Imperial Guard didn't get more love. Like he wanted to see he wanted tanks to be better. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
So
I mean, I think they have a little bit of leg room regardless. I mean, because they will eventually. I mean, they did technically just get a codex like about a year ago. Um, and then they will probably be. Well, remember, by the end of summer this year, we're gonna have 12 codex books out of 26, which is kind of wild because we still, by the end of this summer, we will still have 2 years left in this edition by, the way
the
GW
normal
does
cycle, yeah.
things. So they're going to have to either slow down or fill in the gaps with something. Obviously, we know they're slowing down right now. And I think that's another thing that the folks haven't really been talking about. And maybe I'll get back to some of the stuff that I'm seeing on the changes here that I don't feel like the meta has fully adjusted to or is ready for, and maybe things to look for coming up in the meta in this season, right? So, um, I think one of the big things that we all need to remember is that, and I'm probably the most guilty of this because sometimes I like to kind of be like, oh, GW should do this or GW should do that. But realistically, GW is just in a bad spot in general as a company, as in retention and policies and all sorts of things, right? But that aside, with all the difficulties here in America with like, actually getting being able to get product out the door to stores, yes, Old World was delayed. Yes, they put a ban on restocks for stores for 10-ish days, we'll say. Um, that's that's been lifted. Stores can restock now. Um, and also they still got the Deathwing Assault army boxes out in on time for stores. So they really realistically were only one new release behind, air quotes. They were a little behind on the Age of Sigmar stuff, but for having that much difficulty, like logistics wise, between the snow and the ice, it wasn't just that the warehouse was shut down. It wasn't just that UPS wasn't picking up. A lot of it was, folks couldn't get to work. They couldn't get to the work, like you can't really do much about that, right? So, GW was able to recover. They are getting stuff back out. They are allowing stores to restock now, and they did a really good job with it. I feel like they did a really good job with this balanced data slate too. Um, I personally saw, Lionel Johnson went down. Now, granted, they are going to put out another update because we don't have any points for the inner circle duders. They are going to put out updates when the Dark Angels book is official. I've heard some folks complaining about that they can't register their Codex book from the Deathwing Assault on the app right now. I guess it's not unlocked or something. I don't personally know, but some folks have said that. So there's more changes coming, and they're going to go live. Bobby G went down in points, and when was the last time we saw like Bobby G on the table? You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like that, how cool would it be to see Bobby G on the table? Um,
That dude going up and down in points though is kind of standard.
Yeah, that's always kind of been a thing for when did he come out? 2017 for like 7 years now, I guess.
That
Jeez.
guy, yeah, that guy's points were fluctuating like a motherfucker in eighth edition.
Um, they have a hard time dialing him in. Uh, that's for sure. Um, the just Marines in general are still in a good place. I mean, a couple of key things went up, but not like the stuff that we were seeing so many of. So like, I still feel like 40K in general is in a good place. There is some things like Kenny was saying, like, hey, that's just part of the game. Like, you got to figure out the fix. You got to be able to kill a thing or deal with a thing, or the objectives out there. So, maybe build for that. Um,
No, it's a solid update and everything's fine. Like,
still,
yeah,
everything's fine here. Still, I think
game's still
is kind
fine.
of,
Everything's great.
yeah. I
Did
don't
you?
know.
Are you
There's
the one
always
who
going to
put?
be
Are you the one who
people.
put that meme out? The fucking Steve Buscemi one, like with the hello fellow melee enjoyers.
Melee enjoyers, yes. Are y'all ready for them? For them, Tau.
Hello, hello fellow or what? I can't remember the way it's phrased. It was on your spiky bits
Yeah, no, it
page.
was we found it. I think we tagged a person in it, but yeah, it was a good one. I was like, oh my god, it's so good.
Fellow melee enjoyers holding up all his crew boxes.
Yeah. And then they did preview Crute Hounds, and I think they look great. Way better than the current the Finecast Hounds. I'm kind of torn. Like the Tau, I mean, the Crute look good. Like I hope there's I don't know, they just look good. I hope there's a way to just play Crute, That'd be fun.
God, I missed the crew mercenary days.
Well, there was some abuse there, but
Hell yeah, there was. That's why I miss it.
I don't know if we want to talk about that. It's like the best meme ever with that dude that like boxed out the
Whole table
yeah. It's just like, oh, okay. I see what you're here for.
winning.
Yeah. Laugh
I
cry.
watched the game once. Man, we had some wacky rules back in the day, dude. To anyone who doesn't understand what that was, it was like if you like you some armies would like have like a crazy outflank rule, and then Groot could do all this like forward operating and outflanking that other people couldn't do. So I had like 120 crew just like Congo lined around the entire table while like a White Scars army was trying to like outflank in, and so therefore they're tabled automatically. And
Yeah, because they couldn't get on the board.
but we had other rules because like you just straight up can't pass the line, right? Like done. And
Hmm.
we had other rules like dangerous train checks, a vehicle roll of one, it couldn't move. I saw like another game where like it was like a White Scars or something like that outflanking Land Raider, and it came on. I had to like go over a speed bump and roll a DT check, rolled a one halfway off the board.
Oh, yep.
This looks like technically destroyed. I mean, bro, this
Yeah, there
game. People are like, "Oh, I miss the old days." Really? You remember like when
uh
you could blow up a Land Raider with its guys in it, and then roll a scatter dice, and then it would scatter off the table or some shit
yeah. Or if you roll the six, everything inside was destroyed.
from ordnance weapons.
Oh man.
Bro.
Nah. Things definitely weren't even remotely balanced back then. And the gaps between updates were just I mean, ask
Decade.
a orc player.
Yeah, dude, straight up, there was people who had a 10-year-old codex.
Yeah. Man, those poor orc players. What
I
did
think
it
Dark
get?
Eldar were second place, weren't they? Like with how old theirs was.
Um, they had a third edition book, but I don't think they had a fourth, or did they get a fifth edition book? It might have been two editions. Same with orcs.
Yeah, they were kind of. I think they were tied for a while. Like these little skinny paperback, fucking black and white codexes.
Hmm. Yeah, that was not the way.
Fuck out of
But
here.
now we're spoiled. Now we're like, oh, our 3 month update. This one little thing for my army. I'm
They
so
haven't
mad about
updated
it.
my points this week. Sweet summer chat. Like I acknowledge that everyone's worst day is their worst day. Like I get it, but also
Sure.
perspective. You can achieve a higher degree of internal balance. Perspective.
Hmm.
There's boomers out there like Kara Quinn who waited 10 years for a codex.
Yeah, those were not the good old days.
No, they
I'm
sucked.
sorry. But I mean, I think going forward, we're going to see a lot of books by summer, and that's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
Rumored army boxes for chaos and custodes, and everybody's getting new models. They said it, so like, there's plenty of room for excitement.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Sisters. I don't think they actually had a codex up there. I thought they had like a White Dwarf article or some shit.
For who?
Sisters. Did they even actually have a codex in third? Because I know people played them,
Man,
but was
I
it?
don't think they
I don't
did.
think it was a
I think they had
codex.
a second edition book.
Like, because we had all sorts of things popping off and
Oh yeah, I think it was a chapter
or
approved,
chat.
wasn't
Yes,
it?
yeah, what? Yeah, because we remember we would get White Dwarf articles, which were important, and we'd also get campaign books.
Mm-hmm.
Like Armageddon is where we got Speed Freaks and stuff like that, and Lost in the Dam or Ayatar campaign. So we get these like books that like were not technically codexes, but had a bunch of supplementary rules, and they were just part of the game. Like so, it was really wacky, dude. Like, shit was not tight. Yeah,
Um,
we had witch hunters and demon hunters for Grey Knights too. Zen mentions, yeah, it was it was not the good old days. People talk about the
no, I don't think
3.5
so.
Chaos Codex like it's this like amazing thing. It's like, I mean, it was a powerful codex for sure in a children's game. like, nah,
Yep.
we're good. It's much better now. Trust me.
I think somebody in chat, wait, go by, Corvidae,
Corvidae.
Corvidae, um, it's talking about restocks. Like he just wants restocks, or they want restocks. So obviously there was a slowdown on restocks here in the States, but also you have to realize if your store isn't actively restocking every week, they are going to miss out on the hot stuff because there's only so much hot stuff. And GW is actually, and I haven't talked about this on the site or really on here, but GW is actively allocating things like armigers and land raiders and things. So like, and it gets even more wild. Like, they'll put a cap on 2, and it's things like, well, okay, so I can get 2 now. Can I get 2 next week? Well, there's not going to be 2 next week. So a store will get 2. And somebody might have already pre-ordered like 6, right? Or I guess that wouldn't make any sense. Maybe 3 boxes, right? And they got 2 out of their 6. And the same thing was happening when Lion came out and Farsight and all that stuff. So like if your store, it isn't always that GW isn't doing it. If your store isn't actively restocking, which is kind of a big ask, because so stores have to put out the money 2 weeks ahead for new releases. And in between there, when they're allowed, they are allowed to restock. And if they're not doing it every week, they are going to miss out on the hot stuff. And if they try to order too much of the hot stuff, they're just not going to get any of it. So it's like this weird, like delicate, like juggling game of how do I get the stock from my stores? Nobody knows.
I pre-ordered 6.
Sure. But yeah, it's a wild one out there.
Corvidae says he stopped by Warpfire and they got 18 boxes of black spray paint. It sucks. Nice.
Oof.
Useful.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, black spray paint's good. You
Yeah.
couldn't get it during the pandemic.
I could use a can. I'll take 1 can.
Yeah.
It's fucking out of control.
Yeah. I think there's. I think overall, the hobby's in a good place, and the data sheet's going to be good. And we got what? Let's see what's coming up. Cherokee's coming up at the end of the month.
This month.
Then Adepticon.
California
TC.
teams and Adepticon.
When's that?
It's also in March. Cali teams.
Oh, because ATC is early March.
Early March? Oh, it's early March this year?
No, 8, like the number 8 TC.
Oh, 8 TC, the 8-man event. Yeah. That's March.
Yeah, early March. Yeah. So when's California teams?
I don't know. Right around that time. I'm assuming. I think it's the beginning of March.
Well, I mean, there's enough space. Oh yeah, Rocky Mountain Open is early March too. Wow.
We got plenty of things. It's almost too many things because then I always feel like I can go to that thing later and then I never go. I mean, that's why I'm never gonna miss LVO and Adepticon.
You can't really go wrong with either of those two.
Yeah, I mean, one's the biggest competitive singles event, and the other one's the biggest convention style.
Well, wargaming tip, yeah, wargaming.
The biggest miniatures-based convention. Like obviously, Gen Con's bigger, but it's not a miniatures convention.
No, it's gaming in general.
It's gaming in general.
It's bigger of a magnitude of.
Not even comparable. It's like a regular convention. It's like.
Yeah.
These anime conventions and shit have like 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, fucking.
I mean, they take over a whole city basically.
It's not comparable. So like, Adepticon is the crowning jewel of tabletop wargaming, and it's microscopic compared to an average fucking anime convention.
I think that's a good metric. I mean, there's lots of local local ones to go to too, obviously that you shouldn't miss because hey, you can drive there or whatever, right?
Hmm.
But I feel like if you're going to go to one of the big two, just judge on that. Like, are you there for super competitive gaming, or are you there and be gone on Sunday, or are you there for the whole weekend to hang out with your buds and see basically every manufacturer out there and get some good foods? Then that's probably Adepticon for you. You know what I'm saying?
Carrot says there's a dude cooking on YouTube with 5 million subs. 40K is tiny. Yep. You know what's bigger than Warhammer
Oh,
40K? Literally everything.
yeah. I mean,
We're in the gaming space, which is one of the biggest markets.
mm-hmm.
But one of the reasons like our hobby is so engrossing though too is because it's it's complicated, it's complex,
Yep.
it's nerd adjacent to all other nerd pathways like other it does require expendable income. It does require time and resources and physical like craftsmanship effort, reading, communicating, physically moving to a place and going into a store and to play your games. Like there's 100% inconvenient, right? Which is what makes it so amazing. Like we have to, that's why, in my opinion, if you like graphed out like all the hobbies and what they bring to the table, you would probably come up with something like crafts, artistic, socializing, reading, like learning, like all these different like tiers. And like G and like 40K is like 10 out of 10 on all of them.
Yeah.
Like
Well, plus it's got a rich background in like, lore and stuff.
that's the reading part, right? You see that? So if you're talking about like just narrative storytelling, world building, we got that. If you're talking about like scheming and tactics and expanding your mind, we got that. You know what I mean? Like we got all of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's just so good. So it is an elite hobby though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It is truly like we used the analogy for years. It's like of all the other adjacent miniature IPs and game systems, like this is the golf. This is like that golf resort that has like a ridiculous annual membership fee. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like
it sure is.
like multiple tens of thousands of dollars membership dues. You know what I mean? Like that's 40K. It's like it is super elite because of all those
Mm-hmm.
moving parts. To actually get a 2,000 point army on the table at like a major event and to play like all your games and to
Yep.
know what you're and to know how you're playing your army, like to know you're playing the game correct is truly an elite experience. And that's what I'm always trying to push people toward with like that's my whole thing. Like the way I teach people how to paint and everything is like because the more OP at painting you are, the more of that you get. So fucking love this hobby.
Yeah, it's a big
Kara
commitment,
Quinn
but
says, Dan, that's the most seriously, the most on point shit Kenny ever said, besides painting, of course.
and stuff.
Yo.
Ask KR Quinn why he's
Oh, and
watching cooking shows.
I only read the first sentence of this. Kyle Road says, I'll say this. I've never heard of a fisherman going to a fishing tournament saying he's going for fun. The fun of it, and there's uh, a core charge fee to enter, but I have seen fishermen just go out and fish. But exactly, like that's like if you're like into the fishing as a hobby, not like let's
Mm-hmm.
go fishing with my kids. You want to do it at the most elite level. So you're gonna be part of a community that knows what they're talking about, probably online, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna have the right you're gonna have equipment that probably an influencer told you is the best equipment. You're
Yep.
gonna know the techniques because you're gonna watch some videos on it, and you're gonna go to meetups. You're gonna try these, and so when you go fishing with your buddies, you're always catching fish. You're fucking winning. You know what I mean? Like that's the so like treat it so every hobby that's worth doing is a part time job, and so
Yeah.
40K is just is just the most encompassing one.
There's a winter league here at the local store, and it's only got like 8 people in it, which is still a decent amount because for the amount of weeks, you're basically going to get to play somebody different each time, right? But And they went through all this trouble to like go through and like pick out, okay, so week one is like this mission and that and everything. And, and I come in and I'm like, yeah, I'll play. Because for me, just getting to play is winning, you know? Like, I'm like, oh, sweet, I get an excuse to go play. So like, I don't care if I win or lose. I straight up roll in there and I was like, this is 2K points, right? Because I didn't even think about I didn't even read any of the league stuff. Like there was specific matches. It was 2K points, obviously. We played this whole game. I set up the whole game completely wrong. It wasn't even the week one thing. And we didn't keep, you're supposed to turn in your overall score. And I was just like, at the end, I was just like, whatever, you win, man. It's cool. And I didn't even put I didn't even put my full squads of wardens on the table. Like I was missing a dude in each squad, and when I put them back, with the strat, I was like, wait a minute, what? I don't only have 5 dudes in here. I only lost one, and I was like, oh, I didn't even take out the right amount of models. But for me, again, just getting to play was winning, right? So I was super excited, and then at the end, I wrote a note out. I was like, yeah, so and so beat me, whatever. And the next day, the TO's like, what the fuck, man? You didn't even read it. Like there was a set mission,
you ruined my whole league.
but here's the thing. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I was like, all right, we'll figure because my opponent actually kept track of it in the app, like the tracker app. But here's the funny thing was I wasn't the only one that did that. Like everybody did it wrong. Nobody read the shit, right? And I was like, okay, all right. So now I'm going to take it seriously. Now I'm going to read each week, make sure we're doing the right mission, make sure we're taking writing down the score. Because there's always that like third component is the person running the event, and they spend all this time like setting it all up, and then you just like don't pay attention.
People don't read, man. That's a fact. I don't read.
And I even chastised myself. I was like, you would think
you're literally, you would read.
My literal job, well, one of
highly tied
many
to
hats, is literally reading, and I didn't read any of this shit, and I felt like a big dumb.
You're a peasant, just like the rest of us, Rob. Like
what's that?
You're wallowing in filth, just like the rest of us.
It's just flailing in the mud. No, it was good. It was a good wake up call. I was like, all right.
Kara Quinn, he was going off about how cooking's important to him, and he said something like, life's too short for Circle K. But then he came back and he was like, although I guess Circle K, it's great for the memes. But I bet Kenny's mom can cook, embrace the parent experience. Oh, yeah. She's prepared to beat Bobby Flay in that cooking show. She's ready to go. She's got her recipe and everything.
Dang.
But I don't go to Circle K for the food, dude.
Nah.
Go for the dick pills, the scratchers, the Four Locos.
Oh, man. Yo, you want to talk about back in the day? Let's talk about Four Loko. See, that was something that was better back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Better meaning more likely to put you in the hospital.
Well, I mean.
No, I agree. That makes it better.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we didn't have to wear seatbelts or like bicycle helmets and back in the day.
Glad I did, though. My dad would yell at me when I wasn't wearing it. I remember one time putting it on because I did something stupid. I was like, maybe I should wear it this one time. Oh, yeah. Fucking busted my head, but I was wearing that stupid helmet. It collapsed and kept my cranium from fucking shattering on a fucking curb. I was like, okay, that would have removed me from the gene pool. My dad was right. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because like he was such a stickler for it. You know what I mean? Seatbelts, helmets, but like he's a full boomer. They didn't even have seatbelts in cars. You know what I mean?
Sheesh. Makes it tough.
And something that I always giving my dad shit for is to be like, yeah, you're the generation of like participation trophies. I was like, let me explain something to you, Dad. I was a child. I didn't invent that. Let's think about this. Let's think about this with our big boy brains. I was a baby winning participation trophies. So was it like a council of babies who decided that this was what we were going to do? Or
Oh,
was it
y'all were the E-Trade babies.
okay? Or was it
Like just
you? Was it you and your council of fucks who said that they were going to give us participation trophies? This is your
uh-huh.
parenting, dude. If you don't condone, if you don't like it, look in the mirror.
So many double standards.
So many doubles.
So little time.
Like, you need to wear your helmet or I'm going to ground you. While not wearing his helmet as a kid and saying that kids aren't tough anymore and they're all too soft. You know what I mean? Like, what? Pick a lane, dude.
Uh, have become the thing I hate.
Nice.
Ugh. But you gotta get out of here. It's like
Yeah,
almost
my alarm's about to go off, so
yeah,
let's
we got like 2 minutes left. We're
yeah,
gonna go set up some raids.
yeah. So just
Something.
give us the outro.
All right. So that's it for this one. Make sure to head on over to the longwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.
Okay, I don't have a fancy outro screen because I'm on the mobile soup kitchen streaming off my hard drive, my external. So let's just get some raids queued up. Thanks for kicking it with us. Sorry for the short show. I know every single one of you does like gets it and understands.
Yeah.
Like,
But we're
so
still sorry.
I know it's irrelevant. I know even me saying thanks and sorry, you guys like I don't care.
We got
But
who we hosting here?
looks like
Is there anybody? Let's see.
I mean Tactical Tortoise is on. Grumpy Crane Studios also on.
Grumpy. Who that? What are they doing? Looks like they're going to Adepticon.
Ooh, Road to Decepticon stream. Was that Grumpy Crane?
Yeah.
That's my
What are they
bad.
painting? What is that? Let me look. Trying to go to Adepticamp. What's Adepticamp? Getting crazy with the cheese whiz. I like them already.
Oh yeah, I'm setting up a raid right now. Let's bring some life and girth and positivity to Grumpy Crane Studio. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'll update you
Anybody
guys.
that can quote back is a champ.
No, he's hilarious. I've been to his channel a couple times. He does a whole dance. Oh no, he does like a whole like Ron Burgundy jazz flute bit. Like it's awesome.
All right,
The
let
guy's
me
great.
set this up here.
Thanks for kicking it with us tonight, guys.
Yeah, y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
There we go. Setting up the raid.
My
Grumpy Crane.
my raid is deployed. Is yours? How about yours?
Yeah, I think it's about to pop off. There we go.
Somebody on YouTube said systemist.
System.
Watched you guys for
I don't know.
years. First time catching you live. Wanted to say thank you both for great video content and hobby help. Wish you all the best. Thanks, man. We're
Yeah,
about
thank you
to
for watching.
yeah, we're about to shut this one down, but
Yo.
you know, I'll be live tomorrow on Twitch. So if you want to come by and do some painting,